So this presentation describes the 5D data pack and the topics that we'll cover are listed here. So I will start by describing the data pack content. Then I'll describe the use of the source files that are included as Excel spreadsheets. Then I will describe what kind of model content is included in the 5D data pack. Then there's also some .vico files, Vico files, and I'll explain what you can do with that. And then last but not least, the predefined integration, which is really the main purpose of using the 5D data pack. So the 5D data pack contains three main components. The first one is the Excel source files. That is a collection of spreadsheets that contain the cost data organized by column in such a way that you can easily import that into Vico Office. Second piece of content is Revit and ArchiCAD model libraries. So these files contain per building element category, so foundation elements, superstructure elements, interior finishes, zones, etc. Those are separated by files, and what you get in that is really what we call a virtual warehouse of CAD elements, which you can then use as a library for new projects. So the intent is to open these virtual warehouse models, these Revit and ArchiCAD libraries, and copy and paste the content into your new project. What you achieve with that is I will explain in some of the next slides, but it is the integration that will happen automatically between your model and the cost content. Content planning is something that we discussed separately. Content planning takes care of that integration if you don't have anything. The 5D data pack is predefined content that establishes the link between the cost plan and the model content. The third component is a set of Vico Office reference files, and those .vico files or Vico projects can be unpacked in the Vico Office dashboard and then used as a reference when you're working with the cost plan. They contain the exact same content as the collection of Excel source files. So it is the Excel source files that have already been imported into Vico Office and stored so that you can quickly bring them in Vico Office and start using them. So let's go through them one by one. The Excel source files, here you see an example, contain, as I said, the cost planner data. So that's assemblies and components, assemblies being the higher level, the groups of cost information, the components being the line items that actually contain the unit rates. And you can see that the hierarchy with assemblies and components is actually stored using the various code levels, which is very useful when you want to bring in the content using the Excel import function. We provide the Excel source files because it is a quick and easy way to maintain codes or change the codes so that they match what you want to work with, to maintain the descriptions or change the descriptions into maybe Korean or any other language that you might want to use this data pack in, as well as the formulas. And the formulas are stored in the source quantity column, as you see here. The formula is the name of the takeoff item, so the name of the element, combined with the quantity that you would like to use as input for the cost line item. When we look at this example here, we use a takeoff item that's called A1011-001, cast in place continuous footing. The quantity that we use, so the takeoff quantity, is length. Another example over here is A1011-002 001 cast in place continuous footing, but now we use the net reference site surface area as the takeoff quantity. So by predefining these formulas, you make sure that once you publish and activate the model, the model elements are automatically linked to the cost line items. So what to do after you've changed the source file, maybe change the codes, like I said, maybe change the descriptions. You use the Excel import function, so that's what we see here. This is the Excel import view with the a source file over here in the bottom, and now empty Excel import results screen. But what you do is select the columns one by one, go through the various code levels. So this is code level 1, code level 2, code level 3, all the way down to 6, and that establishes the assembly component structure. By selecting all of this content, you can bring it into Vico Office and start using the cost content that you modified in Excel. You can use the same procedure to update unit rates. So if there's an update in unit costs, you can make those changes in the Excel spreadsheet and use the Excel import file to update your existing content. What we see here to the right is a collection of tags, and tags are useful to create the categorized cost reports, which is something that we did earlier. And if you would like to include additional tags, the Excel spreadsheet may be a very quick way to include them in your references in Vico Office. Next component is the Revit and ArchiCAD content, and this is what it looks like. So when you open any of the files in the 5D Data Pack, you see a collection of predefined elements. We got a bunch of floor slabs here, some beams, over here some more beams. Here's a collection of walls, and all of these walls have a family type in case of Revit, or a layer name combined with an ID. And the layer name and ID as well as family type are coordinated with the cost content that we saw in the previous slide. The Vico Office reference files, so that's the third component in the 5D Data Pack, are, as I said, the Vico files that you can unpack in your dashboard. And after unpacking them in your dashboard, you can use them as a reference in your projects. So on the right side, we look at the project and references view in Cost Planner. On the right side, we see the current project. On the left side, we see a reference that we brought in. So that's a .vico file from the 5D Data Pack, in this case for the substructure. We imported that, and then we can drag and drop our content from the 5D Data Pack into our current project. The predefined integration is really the most important part of the 5D Data Pack, and it means that for each of the pieces of content, so for each of the assemblies and components, we've defined a formula, like in this case the A1022. Let me blow that up a little bit. We got A22001 tie beam -ID. That's the name of the takeoff item. We have coordinated that with the model content. So for each of these line items, we have a matching model element. Let's take a look at that. So here we have the Revit source files, or the Revit content open. We have exactly the same thing for ArchiCAD. But each of these elements are named so that they link up to a corresponding cost line item. So I've got this element selected. Here you see it in 2D. The name of this element is, as you can see, A102201 tie beam ID, which matches exactly this name. Here you can see the family type name and the properties. And you will see the same thing if you open the ArchiCAD model, but in that case not as a family type, but as a layer name. So as soon as you publish a model that contains an element that you copied from here, so the workflow becomes start a new project in ArchiCAD, copy and paste your elements into that new project and start modeling with it. When you then publish that model to the Vico Office database that contains these predefined assemblies and components, they automatically link up, and you do not have to manually search for the items that should be used as quantity input for those assemblies and components. So to summarize, we looked at the data pack content, which is 3 components: the source files, that's the Excel files, which you can use to modify the 5D data pack content, for example, change the coding or the descriptions or update unit prices. Then we looked at the model content, so that's the ArchiCAD and Revit model files. The Vico files, which are included as well, so that's prepared.Vico files that you can unpack in the dashboard and then use as a reference in your project. And then the most important part is the predefined integration. So using the model elements together with the predefined cost content results in automatically linking up of the model-based quantities with the cost information.